Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeTolife.com and welcome to this new quote of the week. So this week's quote will be very important, very interesting, because when I speak with people that are interested in working with me, I usually ask them, what would change for them personally if they were to reach their goals, right? So we assume in this call that they are now the person that they want to be. They now have in their life present, in their circumstances, what they want to have, and again, who they want to be. So how would this make them feel? Who would they be? How would they, what would change for them? And then they say, this and that. But what they usually do not really understand is that this works the other way around. They first have to feel this, right? They first have to be this within. They first have to feel this accomplished, this wish fulfilled internally, right? They have to feel basically exactly as they described to me in the call. They think they would feel if the goal would be manifested, and then the mirror, the confirming function mirror, would show to them. So let's just dive into this quote. It's a really powerful one. So without any further ado, let's just go straight into that. So here's the quote, okay? Now, Neville said, if you want to change any situation in your life, you have to change first before the situation will change. People always expect the situation to change first, then they will change. No, it's the other way around. You change, then the situation changes. The solution is not on the outside, but within you. Key point. To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. There can be no outer change until there is first an inner change. There is nothing to change but our concept of self. As soon as we succeed in transforming ourselves, our world will dissolve and reshape itself in harmony with that which our change affirms. All right, so let's go into that. Now, if you want to change any situation in your life, you have to change first. And the amazing thing here, first of all, that you have to realize is that when you change first, right, you can change the situations in your life. That is, first of all, the freedom that understanding this life principle, this law, brings with itself. That the facts externally, that what the mirror shows, that the current circumstances of your life are not set in stone, are not final. And as soon as you begin to assume to be a new version of yourself, to be someone else, to identify with new qualities and all of that, your life will change. Right? As soon as you change your self-concept, as soon as you change your internal state, life will reflect this new assumption about you back. And that is, first of all, great to understand that you can change the facts. Right? Facts are facts, but you determine the facts by what you keep alive within yourself. Okay? So before the situation change, you have to change first. Right? And like I said in the introduction, that is what so many people don't want to accept. They say, yeah, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like that, and I want this, I want this, I want that. And if I would have this, I would probably feel like this. If I have the money, the relationship, the new house, then I will feel happy, then I will feel accomplished. No, you first feel accomplished within. You first feel accomplished that you have all of that. You first, in a sense, experience that within and bathe yourself in the wish fulfilled, and you all that within, and then you will get those things. So it works the other way around, okay? Like Neville said, people expect the situation to change, and then they change. But it's opposite. You change within, you assume a new state, you identify with a new state of consciousness, with a new self-concept, then your life shows you that assumption back. Right? It's the other way around. You change, then the situation changes. Quite straight to the point. There is not much for me to explain here. I'm sure you get this. Right? And then also the key point is the solution is not on the outside, but within you. Right? People say, okay, when I have the money on my bank account, then I feel financial abundance. No, financial abundance, financial security, that is a state, that is a viewpoint, that is a self-concept that you can, without waiting for anything, without waiting for anyone, assume and identify with right now. By closing your eyes, asking yourself, what would it be like if I would be financially stable, and letting people congratulate you, letting people already see you in a successful state, experiencing certain imaginal acts that imply that you're financially stable. And then you see that it is within you. It is within your awareness. It is within your imagination. You can right now, without any waiting, assume that state, experience what it would be like, meaning be in that state. So it is within you, right? So the solution is within you and not outside. And then when you shift it into financial abundance in that example, then your external world, which again has a confirming function. It shows you where you stand within. It's not causing anything, right? It's just the effect, the result, the mirror. So when you change within, then you see the financial abundance, then you get the new ideas, then you automatically, take the correct actions. Then the right people come into your life. But first, you are within. Okay, so solutions on the inside, you need to change first before the external world changes. Okay, I think that's clear. And now here's where it can become hurtful or like painful, right? To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things, right? That is to struggle against the nature of our being, of this ever-present principle and law. And I see so many people do this, right? They want more money, they try this business idea, and they apply for this new job and this. I have, families, I have examples of that in my own family, right? My brother, for example, he wanted to, have more money. And so before I introduced the law to him and helped him and all of that, but before that, he applied for new jobs. He had, side hustle businesses and all of that. Eventually, what happened all the time is that all of that failed. He always came back to square one. He never made more money. He lost it again. So that was because his concept of himself was still struggling with money. Money is hard to make. I have a lot of difficulties with making more money, and so on and so on. Right? But now when he changed his concept of self, he got a new idea. He got an idea that he actually resonates with. He actually, got more money, right? Because he first changed the inside. It's not that he came from his old paradigm and tried to do new actions, but he was still internally standing at the old standpoint, right? First move internally, then the external will take care of itself. But if you internally stay the old and you just try with new actions, with surface level stuff to, get new results, that won't work if the self-concept doesn't match that. So don't struggle, don't suffer. First change within, first change your self-concept, first assume that you are someone new. And again, we do this via consciously placing our awareness on already being that. We close our eyes. We can do this also with eyes open, but usually it's easier. We close our eyes and we take the focus away from who we are currently and what the world currently presents to us. Or we take our attention away from that and we place our attention, our imagination, our awareness on being who we want to be, on something that implies that we have now what we want to have and that we are now who we want to be. If this is via a congratulation that confirms that we have achieved it, if this is via a simple imaginal act, if this is via seeing something, this doesn't matter, right? There's so many techniques, or you overhear two people speak about you, so many techniques, but the techniques are just, means to identify with that state, to make this new internal state natural, and then this will affect everything, right? This will affect how you think, how you feel, what you do, how other people interact with you, and what the circumstances of your life literally show you, because you've shifted within first. And it's not that you internally are in the state of lack and you then externally try to seek something and chase something. No, you internally are already on the end, and then that end state will lead you. Because like Neville said, there can be no outer change until there is first an inner change, as within, so without, right? Pretty basic, pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. This is so maybe more a, reminding quote here in this week. So there is nothing to change about your concept of self. This is also very crucial because many people ask me, okay, now I imagined the end, now I did a technique, now I did this, this and that, but what do I do now? And there's this great answer from Neville where he basically said, nothing, right? Other than assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, you can't do anything. You can't force any actions. I do have a video on this called Should I Take Action When Manifesting? I highly recommend you check this one out because this is this illusion that people have, is that they still want to get it quicker. They still want to make something. They think they can do something to get it quicker, but that doesn't work. The only thing you can do is be in the end. And if that is so natural, if you are really in the end, then everything happens automatically. You don't have to worry about which action to take, what exactly happens, as long as you are naturally living in that end state. Okay, so check out the video that I linked that will explain that in more detail, right? So only focus on changing your concept of self, only focus on changing your state, only shifting to the end state, where you already have what you want to have, where you already are who you want to be. Okay, that is the key. And as soon as we succeed in transforming self, right, and that's basic, what is that self, right? That self is not the ego self, basically, because that's in a sense just a construct, but the self is that ever-present awareness, that ever-present consciousness, that true nature of us. You can call it energy, you can call it God, you can call it just beingness. I like to call it awareness, but your true self. You can call it even higher self. But the thing is, within that infinite self of us, every possibility exists. So when we assume something new, when we identify with a new role, it's like a new portion of that already existing creation starts to open up. It's not that we created that. We simply shifted into that by placing our awareness on already being that. It's like, you change the room. Neville gave this example, this is from the Bible. In my Father's house are many mansions. In my true self, in this consciousness, there are many mansions. There are all of these different states of consciousness. And by you taking your attention from your current state, if you don't like it, and you place it on the state that you want to externalize, this is also the slogan of my banner from the YouTube channel. This is one of my favorite quotes. Then you know how to manifest. Then you know how to never be stuck in life. Then you know how to shift. So you don't burn your current room. You don't burn the city that you're currently in. You simply leave it. But you don't focus on letting go and how can you leave it. No, you leave it automatically by making the new state natural. By making the new state normal, you automatically leave the old state. You automatically let the old self-concept behind. And whatever comes with that new room, that new reality that you shifted into, that will become your lived experience. Okay? So when we succeed in shifting our self-concept and shifting into that new state and shifting into that new identity, our world will dissolve, right? The present circumstances will fade away. We stop reacting to them, and then they slowly will literally fade away and reshape itself in harmony with that which our change affirms, with that new state, that new self-concept. Okay? So key here is that don't expect the world to change. Don't expect the situation and your circumstances to change. You have to change first. You have to first be that change, right? There's this quote, be the change that you want to see in this world. I currently forgot from whom it is, but there's very much truth to that. 100% truth, actually, right? Be it now, and then you will actually be it in your circumstance, but you have to first be it within. Okay? If you need a deeper understanding on how this works, feel free to check out my free masterclass. It's solely free. It only requires your name plus email. And then you're also on my newsletter to get notified when I upload new videos. That's the first link in the video description. Just check it out. You have nothing to lose. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe with just one click. That's it. Right? And if you at one point feel that these principles from Neville, right, this law of assumption, this evergreen principle that was true 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, that is true now, that will be true in 100 years from now. If you want to understand this principle better, right, in a step-by-step systematic way on how you can understand it, apply it, and have this as a life principle, so that no matter which goal and desire arise within you, you know how to consciously experience the wish fulfilled of that, so that it becomes natural, that it becomes certain to you, that you have this faith in knowing that it is done, so that it can manifest. If you need help with that, and you have goals, you want to be more happier, more stable, more confident, then reach out. Right? The best option to work with me is if you apply for a free 45-minute consultation call with me or my team. Then we will just see if we are a good fit. And if that's a yes, then you can start to work with us. You can start to work with me in my program. And that's the second link in the video description and the pinned comments. So that's this week's quote. Right? I assume that you got a lot of value out of that. I hope that it helped you. Just as a reminder that the world responds to you, to whatever state of consciousness you are in. Okay. I also have a video on this called, your world mirrors your state. I will link this above in case you want to learn more about this. So I look forward to speak to you in the next week's quote. Bye, guys.